Hi, my name's Chris Watts. My 10 talk today is about physical activity, and it's January. It's early January. Lots of people will now be making the decision to start to become more physically active. But a lot of people might avoid it because they think in order to be physically active, you have to join a gym. I wanted to spend a few minutes today just talking about other options that don't involve joining a gym. If that's something that that scares you or intimidates you and you don't want to do that, hopefully today's session will help you come up with a few ideas that are suitable for you and allow you to get into a good routine. Okay. So today's session really is an introduction to physical activity. We're going to start out by looking at what physical activity actually is. And then we're going to go over a few different types of activity, both home-based, outdoors, and we're going to talk a little bit about the gym as well. We're going to finish off with how to kind of create a routine for yourself as well. Okay, so let's get to it. Physical activity. Now, again, everybody probably knows a little bit about physical activity and how important it is and how good it is for both our physical and our mental health. Okay, but what is it? Well, the World Health Organization defines physical activity as any bodily movement that's produced by your skeletal muscles requiring energy expenditure. It can be any movement, so not just the stuff that you dedicate during leisure time. It could also be transport to and from work. So if you commute by walking to and from work, that counts as well. And it can be things that you might do as part of your work as well, moving around the office and things like that. Now, the NHS recommend that adults should do some form of physical activity every day. Any activity is good for you. The more you do, the better. And just to kind of recap the physical benefits, we've got things like improvement in heart health, weight loss because of the calorie expenditure. More physical activity usually leads to more energy levels or higher energy levels, sorry, improvement in lung function, health, the reduction in the risk of chronic disease like high blood pressure, coronary heart disease, and so on, and the reduction in the risk of certain cancers. Those are all physical benefits that we know are associated with higher levels of physical activity. On the mental side of things, more physical activity actually leads to better sleep, happier moods, improved brain health and memory as well. For a lot of people, it's a great way of managing stress and anxiety. For me personally, it gives me a lot of focus as well, better self-esteem, and it also leads to the reduction in the risk of or helping to manage mild to moderate depression. To that end, though, obviously, if you do suffer from depression, please speak to a doctor or a medical professional. Don't just rely on physical activity to help alleviate those symptoms. Speak to a professional. And the final thing as well, it obviously helps connect us to people and people that share the same interests, the same experiences, and it allows us to connect, because as humans, we are social creatures. So that's physical activity. Those are the benefits. But what can we do? So let's start out with home-based physical activity. So if you're somebody who is potentially a little bit nervous about becoming more physically active, or nervous about joining a gym, then you can always start by being active at home. There are plenty of options. The key thing with physical activity is making sure that you find something that you enjoy, because if you don't enjoy it, you won't stick to it. So it's really important that you love doing what you're doing. Now, as I said, at home, as long as you've got a little bit of space, there's plenty of things that you can do. Okay. First of all, you could just try sitting down less. If you spend a lot of time at home sitting down, for example, lots of us are working at home at the moment, so because of the changes in the pandemic. Try standing up and doing what I'm doing at the moment, which is standing, talking to the computer. Okay. Or just set a little timer and move around your house a little bit more. One of the things I used to do with PT clients is get them to set a 60-minute timer, and every 60 minutes when it went off, when they were at the office or at home, just got them to get up and go to the water fountain or go to the toilet, or if they were at home, maybe just do 15 or 20 bodyweight squats just to kind of get the heart rate elevated and get the muscles working. Now, if that's not for you, chair-based exercises could be a great place to start, particularly if you've got mobility problems or a physical condition that prevents you from being too active. the NHS have got lots of recommendations for chair-based activity routines that you can try while sitting down. It's a very, very popular way, certainly as well as you get older. You certainly see more and more older adults taking part in chair-based activities in their later lives in order to kind of keep their upper body strong and healthy. You could as well play active computer games. There are plenty of things nowadays, like the Nintendo Switch, that require people to kind of move around, be more active, move the controllers around, and that's going to get the heart rate up and get you moving a lot more. Okay. You could as well follow, more of an exercise routine that's based at home. Again, the NHS website has a lot of great recommendations. If you want something a little bit more technical maybe, or you want a little bit more help, here at We Are Wellbeing, we have a team of experts, myself included, that are well versed in bodyweight exercise and training at home. So you could always get in touch with us as well. And again, to that end, there are lots of ways that you can be active and achieve quite, lofty fitness goals, certainly, without going too far out of your own home. Everything from kind of, your more sedate stuff like yoga and Pilates, right through to kind of higher intensity cardio workouts and everything in between. Okay. The key thing, really, just reach out and ask. We're happy to help. Okay. You could as well just try and, include more activity in your day-to-day routine. So instead of just walking up the stairs one at a time, maybe try taking two at a time, or run up the stairs instead of walking. If you have to kind of go out to the shops or anything like that, make sure that, you walk instead of drive wherever possible. Make sure that you, carry your shopping back in bags or in a rucksack to give you that extra kind of weight. So the key thing really, when you're at home, certainly because there's lots of other things going on at home as well, try and make sure that you set aside dedicated time on, a regular, consistent basis where you can focus on yourself and your activity. Try and make sure that you prepare your environment as well. So get your yoga mat out, get any equipment that you need ready for that, and put it out at the start of the day ready to go, so that you've got it there to get started. And if you are at home with your family, try and get your family support. Make sure that they understand that it's important for you to do this. It's going to be good for you, your health, and your mental health as well. And to some extent, you could include them in it if you wanted to as well. But most importantly, get that family support. For me anyway, I know that it's really important for me to be healthy and strong. For my young family, it's the kind of the airplane and the mask. Sort your own mask out. Make sure that you're healthy before you can start to help other people. So it is important to look after yourself. And of course, finally, make sure that if you need any advice, reach out. Like I said, we're more than happy to help here at We Are Wellbeing. So that's home-based activities. Now, if you want to get out and about, we can look at some outdoor activities. Again, there are plenty of options. The key thing, again, is just finding something that you yourself enjoy. Because again, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, particularly when you're outside, again, it's probably going to suck. It's not going to be enjoyable. So make sure you find something that you enjoy. For example, on the picture there, you can see a chap running. Now, if you don't like running, don't go running, because you won't stick to it. Okay, but what can you do? Again, outdoors, yes, it's a little bit grey, it's a little bit cold at the moment, but outdoor activity doesn't have to be cold and wet and be awful. Okay, it could simply involve walking a bit more, walking to and from the shops, or even just around the block, at lunchtime or after you've had tea, something like that, just to kind of stretch your legs, get that heart rate up a little bit as well. Okay. You could just head down to the park and play a game. Take your family, play a bit of frisbee, tag, a bit of catch, anything like that, or even start to exercise with your family together. Go for walks or bike rides, that kind of thing. Okay. You could look at some new sports, maybe pick up a sport that you used to do back in your teens or your early 20s that you've kind of lost touch with because of life and how busy you are. Join an exercise class or join a local team, and try and get out and get involved. Again, the Be Inspired website has lots of information about what sports and activities and how to get involved. You could also check out local kind of social media groups and things like that and see what's available. Okay. If sports are not your thing, you could always just volunteer outdoors. The Conservation Volunteers and the Wildlife Trust do run outdoor volunteering projects around the UK. Again, just check out their websites. That will get you out into nature, get you moving around, get you meeting people as well who share the same kind of interests as you. Again, I mentioned walking already, but there are, again, lots and lots of local walking and running groups. In short, again, just check out local social media, local Facebook groups, local community groups as well, maybe village halls, things like that, and see what's available. You could just look at Walking for Health or Let's Walk Cymru for those in Wales, Ramblers and Run Together, again, all organised, lots of free, inclusive local group with trained volunteers as well. The last kind of few things, outdoor gyms. In the last decade or so, we've seen lots more local parks, local gyms install exercise equipment. Have a look at the local council website and see which parks near you have got those, and then you can get out. You can walk around the park, you can use the exercise equipment and get involved that way as well. Over the past sort of 20 years, there has been a huge explosion in cycling. Again, it doesn't have to be full lycra racing bike kind of cycling. You could literally just dig out your old bike and ride to the shops or ride to work if you want to, exercising, going on bike rides with the family. Again, if you're looking for ways to get involved or ideas, try out the Sustrans website. They have got lots of kind of local routes. You can kind of zone in on your local area and have a little look at information about how to get started with safe cycling in your local area. And the final thing to kind of talk about, again, we are Wellbeing. We have lots of people who are, highly trained, qualified personal trainers who can help you put together kind of outdoor routines and outdoor sessions and get you involved that way as well. So again, if you need any help or support, just reach out to us. Okay. In terms of being outdoors, we know that being outdoors and being active in nature has huge benefits for your mental health. So as the weather improves, I would urge you get outdoors a little bit more, explore your local area as well. Okay. The last kind of couple of points on this page, again, just think about how many times per week you want to be active. And remember as well, you could always mix the home and the outdoor activities up. It doesn't have to be one, all or nothing. You could do a little bit outdoors, a little bit indoors if the weather is not great. Okay. Key thing though, again, just make sure you can be consistent and get into a regular pattern with that exercise, because let's be honest, that's the secret. Just consistency. It's not a shake. It's not a kind of a magic routine. It's not one particular thing. Just find something you love that you can be consistent at. That's the big secret, okay, when it comes to exercise and fitness. Key things though, make sure you prepare for your environment. If you're going outdoors, be prepared for the cold, the wet, the rain. Make sure that you take water with you. Make sure that you let people know where you're going and how long you expect to be, and your planned route if you're going on a walk or anything like that. Just be as safe as possible. Get family support. So again, either exercise with them together, or again, just make sure that they know that that's what you're doing at that time and it's important to you. One thing that you can use as well is what's called the if-then technique. And this certainly applies to outdoor activity when it's cold or it's wet, because if the weather is totally unsuitable for being outdoors, it'd be the worst idea to actually go out and try and do something, because, you could be putting yourself in danger or it just won't be enjoyable. So if the weather is bad, then I will do this instead. It's basically like having a backup plan. It's just a psychological technique that makes sure that, if for whatever reason your planned activity can't occur, you've got something else that you can do. Okay, so it might be a home workout, a body weight routine or something like that. And again, seek advice if you need it. Okay. Final thing we want to talk about is gym-based activities. Again, if you want to join a gym, just think about what you enjoy doing when you're there. You can do classes, you can weight train, you can, train for muscular hypertrophy, you can do cardio, you can even swim at most gyms as well. So just think about what you want to do, what you enjoy doing, and how to get the best out of it. Think about how many times per week you can exercise, and just commit to it. Don't overcommit as well. Don't say you're going to go 5 times a week, because then you'll be gutted if you can only make it 3. Start small and build from there as your enjoyment and excitement about exercise increases. Okay. When you go to the gym, 3 things that you need to do. Warm up and dynamic stretch first to prepare your body for exercise. I know, as a man whose age is advancing rapidly, if I don't get a good warm up and prepare for my exercise session, I'm going to feel it the next day, and probably the day after that and the day after that as well. So make sure that you warm up and prepare for the exercise itself. The main session should be whatever you enjoy doing. Okay. Again, if you enjoy it, it's going to be much more fun to do, and you're going to stick to it longer, and you're going to be more committed, and it'll be easier to be consistent. Make sure as well that you finish off at number 3 with a cool down and a stretch. Equally as important to kind of bring the body back to resting, its resting state, to return the heart rate to the pre-exercise levels, and to kind of clear the muscles and the bloodstream of kind of all those waste products that may have built up. Okay, it's also a good time to reflect on your session. Did you enjoy it? What went well? What didn't do well? Do we need to make any tweaks anywhere? That kind of thing. Okay. As well, use the if-then technique. Just again, if that particular machine or class is full and you can't do it, what are you going to do instead? Have that backup plan, and that ensures that the consistency is always there. Finally, as well, seek advice. I love talking to people about training, about the gym, things like that. It's something that I've spent, the past 15 years teaching, and beyond that, personal training as well. I'm basically a fitness nerd. So if you want to chat about anything, then drop me an email. Okay, so we've got 3 options there for activity. How do we create a routine? Okay, so the first thing we want to do is, again, make sure that we're committing to something that we enjoy. Start off slowly. It might take a little while for your fitness to build up and for you to become accustomed to the levels of exercise that you're trying to do. Doing too much can make you feel tired, sore. There can be delayed onset muscle soreness that might put you off. Okay, so always start small and build from there. Try and plan a realistic and achievable routine. So set SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time framed. Okay, make sure that you write those goals down as well. The specifics, exactly what do you want to achieve? You need some numbers in there as well, whether it's kind of amount of weight lost, size gained, fitness gained, distance ran. There needs to be numbers so that you can then measure it. And that's how you're going to measure, and how frequently are you going to measure your progress. The achievable bit is how you are laying out your progress or your path to achieve that goal. The relevant is how is it important to you? What's your motivation? Understanding that is going to make sure that you commit to it and you can be consistent. And the time frame is how long you've got, essentially. Okay. Make sure, again, with the number of times that you're being active per week and how long it is, make sure that you start small and build from there as you kind of get used to it. Okay, plan and schedule your activity sessions, put them in your calendar, put them in your diary, and make sure that people around you know that that's what you're doing at that time, so that you can protect that time for you, so that you can make that progress. The final point that I want to talk about here is creating a ritual. Now, that's not about chanting and incense. That's about making sure that you've got a plan and kind of, for example, putting your gym bag and your trainers next to the door on the Monday night because you know you're going to the gym on Tuesday. So just that little ritual ensures that the consistency is there and ensures that, you see it on the way out, you pick it up and you're going, rather than that kind of, oh, I've forgotten this and forgotten that and I can't do it. Okay. Obviously, as well, think about that if-then technique and make sure that you've got backup plans to help ensure that your consistency is there and you don't write something off just because you can't do it. Kind of final thing I want to say is just make sure that you be kind to yourself, essentially. Sometimes you're going to have loads of energy. Sometimes you're not. On days that you've not got lots of energy, find a way to just be a little bit active. Consistency is the key. It's all right to kind of ease back and to slow down if you need to take a break. If you need to shift your days because, you've got a project that needs to be finished or anything like that. Okay. There's always something that you can do. And again, if you need any advice, then reach out to us here at We Are Wellbeing. You can find us on the contact details on the screen there. My contact details are first if you want to bounce any ideas off me. Obviously, our website as well has got loads of blogs by all of our the people that work for us that have different skills and specializations, whether it's nutrition, diet, psychology, or even fitness as well. Okay. Thank you for coming to my 10 talk, even though it's turned into a 20 talk. Apologies for that, but hopefully you found it useful, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.